How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things that you should probably consider before buying your first motorcycle. However, before we get into today's video, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and if you are already subscribed, definitely be sure to click that little bell icon down below. It helps me out a ton as a small YouTuber. I know it's annoying for me to sit here and repeat myself before every single video. However, again, as a small YouTuber, it really just does help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. But not wasting any more time and getting right into number 1, and these aren't going to be ordered in, like, I guess, importance or significance. However, I do believe that this first point is the most important one of the video, and it is, what is the correct bike for me? Now, this is probably going to be the most repeated point when you go on any forums or anything like online. If you're doing any sort of research and want to get into getting a motorcycle and getting your first motorcycle, there's a ton of different shopping that you need to do. Obviously, there's already a ton of different research that you should be doing when it comes to buying an automobile. However, with this bike, you're putting a lot more at risk. A lot of bike accidents, or motorcycle accidents I should say, don't end rather good. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're getting the right bike. There's plenty of different styles out there, whether they're cruisers like the Suzuki and Yamaha that you're seeing right here today with this footage, or there's sport bikes, there's mini bikes, there's supermoto bikes. The list goes on and on and on. And honestly, you want to just get something that fits your body type. Not everyone can operate every single control of every single type of bike. If you're a 4-foot tall female, maybe a mini bike in a Honda Gram is like the correct choice for you. Or if you want to go like a cruiser, maybe, I know Honda Rebels have like smaller seats. However, if you're like a 7-foot tall giant, I wouldn't suggest getting on a Honda Gram. You also want to make sure that when you're cornering or turning and leaning into the road, that you're not on something that's going to scrape everywhere. You want to consider the actual specs of the bike. You don't want to get something incredibly powerful and not be able to handle it and wind up dumping it the second you go out onto the road with it. So that's definitely just something to consider, and probably the most important thing is, what is the type of bike that is best for me? What are the specs? What are the horsepower numbers? All that stuff is extremely important, because the connection you're going to make between your first motorcycle and your first car, the motorcycle is going to be honestly a lot more significant, because the car, you have a lot more room, I guess, to mess up, whereas in a bike, you only got 2 tires. Now, number 2, do I have the right gear? Now, right now, looking at this footage as I'm filming this voiceover, I know this is probably not the best example, and I'm gonna contradict myself. However, although I just had a t-shirt on, like, when I was filming this footage, I was only around town. I wasn't like on a highway or anything, and I still had my motorcycle jeans with armor in them. I had really good gloves. I had good, adequate boots that fit me very nice, and I still had my Sedici full face helmet. I highly recommend getting a full face helmet. I know some guys kind of like to complain about the noise and like how it kind of muffles your noise a little bit, but to be honest, there's plenty of videos out there of people with half face helmets, and you know, they just get hit or something and it doesn't go too well. There's so many like little projectiles and little rocks and everything, especially when you're on the highway, so you just want to keep that in mind. And also, I know this is a cliche line, but I'm going to repeat this again, but you want to dress for the slide, not the ride. Again, it's cliche, but no one has really ever said that they've been too overkill when it comes to protective equipment. You can honestly go ahead and buy a full-on MotoGP suit, to be honest with you. Now, moving right along to number 3 is taking, it's kind of like 2 in 1, but one's a little bit more common sense. You should definitely consider taking a safety course and definitely getting your license. First off, I'm in New Jersey, so we have to do a course in order to get your motorcycle license, and I honestly I had a great experience with it. Mine was very positive. I have no complaints. The instructors were awesome, and they basically take you on like little 250cc bikes. You do a couple maneuvers, a couple laps in the parking lot to get warmed up, and then as the course goes on, mine was like a 2-day course, so as the course goes on, later in the first day and then all of the second day, you're doing a lot more complicated stuff, and it really helped boost my confidence before getting on an actual public road with a motorcycle. However, there are states out there that you could just go ahead and get your license without doing a safety course, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Just from my own experiences, I think that a safety course works wonders. I know there's people out there that have been riding since they were kids and they don't need a safety course, and that's fine and everything. However, if you're just getting into owning a motorcycle, I highly would suggest taking a safety course, at least one. If you could do multiple, then go ahead, by all means, go do multiple. Again, it's just like kind of wearing the proper gear. No one has really complained about doing too many safety courses. And although this is common sense, but if you go out and you go to a dealership or you go through private sale or whatever, and you buy your first motorcycle without getting your license first, I just think that's a little bit silly, because unless you're going to be partaking in hood rat activities, which I do not condone, this is not legal advice, but unless you're going to be going out and, you know, acting a fool, your bike's basically just going to be sitting dust during the entire process of you getting your motorcycle license. So I definitely say get that out of the way before going out and buying your first bike. Now for the next point, it's a very simple question and something that you should ask for any sort of vehicle, whether it's a bike or an automobile or whatever, but is this purchase too expensive? Now, yes, I know this is kind of common sense too. However, it's more likely than not you're going to drop your first bike one way or another. Hopefully, you know, God forbid you get in something serious, and hopefully it's just something stupid like parking the bike and then dropping it in your driveway or dropping it on the road at a red light or something. But more times than not, when people get their first motorcycle, they find one way or another to scratch it up. So you don't want to go out there and drop like 20, 25, or 30 grand on like you souped up Harley or Indian or like something really nice, and then next thing you know, you don't know actually how to park the damn thing. I know there's plenty of guys out there who are first getting into motorcycles who it's kind of like for them it's kind of like their midlife crisis, and they're already in their 40s and 50s and they have a good amount of money. And by all means, like, I'm not saying you shouldn't get into, you know, motorcycles or whatever. However, I just wouldn't go out and spend like honestly more than 10 grand on your first bike. Again, that's just my own opinion. I know some people have done differently and it's worked out fine for them. However, the last thing you want is to do something so like silly or stupid and scratch up your like $15,000 or $20,000 brand new motorcycle that's got a sick ass paint job and looks super cool, and now it's got a huge ass scratch in the side of the fuel tank. That's just not what you would want. And for the last but certainly not least point is, can you have fun with the bike that you're going to buy? Honestly, practice makes perfect, and as someone who is still kind of like a beginner rider, when you put me out on a spectrum and, you know, you look at like the experts compared to the people who are like super like noobs and just starting, I would say that the best thing you can possibly do for your first motorcycle is get something that is safe, reliable, and that you can have fun on every single weekend, or just go out when you want to in good weather and just ride it. You don't want something that is not going to be enjoyable. You want something that's going to be comfortable, and you want something, again, that you can follow all safety aspects that you learn in like those driver courses. You want to be able to drive super defensively on said bike, but you want to have fun. You don't want to get like something that's maybe like a mini bike or like a 250 that you're going to get bored with as soon as you get just a little bit of experience. So definitely keep that in mind. At the end of the day, you want to have fun, you want to be safe, and you don't want to invest your good hard-earned money on something that you might ride, you know, twice or 3 times or so, and then next thing you know, you just get sick of it. It's either boring or it's, you don't like, and you don't really get the enjoyment out of it, because that is just gonna ruin your experience when it comes to buying your first motorcycle. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much just gonna be it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments below if I missed any important points that you guys know of when you bought your first motorcycle. And also, if you are actually looking to buy your first one, let me know down in the comments below what options you're looking for right now. I would love to hear from you guys. And again, any support that you show to the channel, I really do appreciate a lot. But like always, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed today's video, click on either of these links right here to watch a similar video from this channel, or click on the little circle link right there to actually subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. I do appreciate all the support, but thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.